Is this dress white and gold or is it blue and black? This is the question that divided the internet a bunch of years ago, and I remember just being perplexed and not understanding how the other side didn't see the truth that that's really a blue dress. Well, the fact of the matter is that the exact same situation we are now having play out with is Russell Wilson a good quarterback or is he bad? And this saga just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder. We are now at a place in the story where each side, Russell Wilson's camp and then the other camp, have their go-to source that they kind of leak to. So we talked last week, Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, is Russell Wilson's source. Dianne Rossini is Russell Wilson's source. And so they leaked all of the stuff last week about how Russell Wilson was asked to completely forego his injury guarantee. Well, now we are getting the Denver Broncos leak. They are leaking to Ian Rapoport and a couple other sources. So let's look at that. We have to decide really what is the truth in this entire situation. So here is the story. This was originally in Sports Illustrated, and I've seen it a bunch of other places as well. But here is the story. And again, I think this is the Denver Broncos. This is Sean Payton trying to really make sure that they paint this situation, that this is not a decision made because of the injury guarantee, that this was made because of a football decision. And I think the truth is probably in the middle there. It is a football decision because of the financial situation. Like, Russell Wilson is good if he's on a vet minimum, but as a top paid player in the league, he's not a good football decision. And so I think it really is a semantic game there. But here is the Broncos side of this scenario that was leaked and then reported in Sports Illustrated and Ian Rapoport. Again, I think we take this with a grain of salt, just like we take with a grain of salt that Russell Wilson was threatened. The Broncos, I'm going to cover all of this in my next video, but the Broncos are being investigated right now by the NFLPA. If they made a threat that was completely due to a contract situation, they could be in giant trouble. But I do not think they're going to have a hard time proving that this wasn't just the financial situation, that it truly was a football situation. And we're going to go through all that in the next video. But let's take a look here at the Broncos side of the story as to why they say this was a football decision. So the first thing that Ian Rapoport mentions is that there were dudes, wide receivers, unnamed wide receivers. My guess, based on seeing some footage of practice, Jerry Jeudy's locker is right next to Stidham, that in that first open part of practice, which I can't show here without violating copyright, but you see Jerry Jeudy go up to Stidham right in front of Russ and hype him up, like kind of thump him on the chest, like, you got this, big dog, get him really pumped. And you see Jerry Jeudy play through being sick. I guess a nasty flu just tore through the Broncos locker room. Jeudy and Mims were both questionable because of that. You see Jerry Jeudy push through feeling crappy and trying to have a Jordan flu game. I think he does that because Stidham's his dude. I think we have heard that Jerry Jeudy can be a diva sometimes. If he had a chance to sit out, he would have. He played through because he likes Stidham. So I think this source is Jerry Jeudy. So here it is, that they saw endless string of open players that Wilson wasn't finding in time. You even see this with Sean Payton after that Houston Texans game. You hear a reporter ask him about a wide open Jerry Jeudy on the play that Russell Wilson threw an interception aimed at Kroll in the end zone. And Sean Payton's response was, golly, that happened a dozen times in that game. So you hear Sean Payton kind of ceding that, even though we let Russell start for several games after that Houston Texans loss, you see them noticing it there. So endless string of open players. Payton hasn't been happy with how it's been running. He has had Drew Brees run this offense at a high level, and this isn't it. Stidham can run the offense well in practice, and optimism was rising. Payton was wary of Wilson during his interview when he was trying to get this job right after Fox, and he spoke that he was going to give Russell Wilson a shot, which he did. He committed to trying, is what the report says. So even going into the season, he was doubtful of how Russ could do, but said, I'm going to give it the old college try. And the college try ended up being let Russell Wilson play all the way through the first 15 games of the season. And then here it is that last summer, this is all about the deal. But basically, you see the Denver Broncos side of this paint this not as a contractual decision. If this was purely contractual, we are violating NFL rules. We're violating New York law according to the thing that the NFLPA just dropped. But if this was because Jarrett Stidham gave us the best chance of winning, not just this year, but long term, then it's fine. And I think this was a very, very interesting, you see Payton after the game quote saying that he played with a kind of poise. You feel that on the field. He did not look like a first or second year player. Now, here is the thing. I love Mark Schlereth. I love his green chili. I wish I had a promo code, or really wish I just had some stinking good green chili right now, but I'm not a sponsor of it. But check it out if you're local. It's at King Soopers, and it's legit the best. But Mark Schlereth just blasted him on 104.3 The Fan, blasted Russell, and said that if Russell Wilson played in that same game yesterday against the Los Angeles Chargers, that he would have had 7 sacks. You just saw their defense playing totally different, playing way more in coverage than they usually do. They usually stack the box to stop the run, but you saw a lot of coverage yesterday, and you saw Derwin James, an all-pro safety, play when he didn't play against Russell, and you see us missing 2 of our top 3 receivers. And so he came out yesterday and said, so Jarrett Stidham played exactly equal as Russell Wilson, who you're paying $40 million a year to, but Russell Wilson didn't have to play against one of their best defensive players. Russell Wilson got to have Marvin Mims. Russell Wilson got to have Cortland Sutton. And Russell Wilson got to play against a team that had quit on their coach, Brandon Staley. So all of that, and Russell Wilson had 15 years of playing and preparing for games, that this was Stidham's 3rd NFL start, and he plays on the same level as an All-Pro. So again, what color is that dress? It's up to you to decide. I can't tell you what that color dress is, but I can tell you that dress is orange and blue, because it is time, Broncos country, that whether or not we think this Russell Wilson situation was done dirty, whether or not we think Sean Payton is the best thing since sliced bread, at this point in time, we need to rally around our team and make the best decision for tomorrow, and not rehash the past, and instead make our best next step forward. We have an elephant in front of us, and we can eat it a bite at a time. We are 8 years in a row without making the playoffs, but I do think that changes next year. Sure, I think we've got to make, it's going to be a huge offseason for Sean Payton, but I think he can start building the team that he needs to break the streak, the last streak he has to break, right? He swept the Chargers, he broke our losing streak against the Chiefs, and this is the last streak he has to beat, to break, and it's the one that means the most to me, and I'm going to be there all along the journey for you. So thank you for tuning in. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up this week, including the NFL investigating Sean Payton. We are diving all into that and what the fallout for that could be. Catch you there. Make sure you're liked and subscribed so you don't miss anything. And buckle up, Broncos country, because it's going to be a great offseason.